The evening of July 5, 2019, began like any other in Southern California. The sun cast long shadows as people went about their routines. Dinner was being prepared, kids played outside. It was a typical summer Friday. Then, at 8:19 p.m., the ground lurched. A powerful tremor shook the region. It was a 7.1 magnitude earthquake. Buildings swayed violently. Objects crashed to the ground. The earthquake registered a powerful 7.1 on the moment magnitude scale, a measure of an earthquake's energy release. To put this in perspective, that's about 11 times stronger than the 1994 Northridge earthquake. The epicenter was located in a remote area of the Mojave Desert, near Ridgecrest, California. While the epicenter was relatively isolated, the earthquake's effects were felt across a vast swath of Southern California. From Los Angeles to Las Vegas, people experienced the tremors. The shaking was particularly intense closer to the epicenter, where it caused significant damage to buildings, roads, and infrastructure. The earthquake served as a stark reminder of the seismic vulnerability of this region. California sits on the volatile boundary of the Pacific and North American tectonic plates. The constant movement of these plates creates immense pressure, periodically released in the form of earthquakes. Understanding this geological context is crucial for comprehending the forces at play and the potential risks faced by those living in earthquake-prone areas. In the immediate aftermath, a wave of confusion and disorientation swept through the affected areas. The ground had stopped shaking, but the experience left people rattled, unsure of what to do next. Communication networks were disrupted, making it difficult to contact loved ones and get a clear picture of the situation. First responders sprang into action, assessing damage, providing medical aid, and ensuring the safety of residents. Emergency services worked tirelessly to restore critical infrastructure, including power, water, and communication lines. As the dust settled, the true extent of the damage began to emerge. The earthquake served as a stark reminder of the importance of preparedness. Having emergency plans in place, securing heavy objects, and knowing how to stay safe during and after an earthquake can make all the difference. In the face of such unpredictable and powerful events, knowledge and preparation are our best defenses. As the sun began to rise on July 6th, the full extent of the earthquake's impact came into sharp focus. Roads, once arteries of daily life, were now marred by deep fissures and buckled asphalt. Some were impassable, cutting off communities and hindering access for emergency services. Buildings too bore witness to the Earth's power. Cracks snaked their way through walls, windows shattered, and some structures faced imminent collapse. Amidst the destruction, however, there were also stories of resilience. Neighbors helped neighbors, sharing what supplies they had and offering support to those in need. First responders worked tirelessly to clear debris, assess damage, and ensure the safety of residents. The long process of recovery had begun. The indomitable spirit of those who call California home shone through. Section 2, Ridgecrest Ground Zero. The small town of Ridgecrest, located just a few miles from the earthquake's epicenter, found itself at the heart of the disaster. This desert community, known for its proximity to the Naval Air Weapons Station China Lake, bore the brunt of the earthquake's force. Homes were damaged, businesses impacted, and the town's infrastructure was severely strained. While Ridgecrest may have been physically shaken, its spirit remained unbroken. Residents rallied together, supporting one another in the face of adversity. Stories of bravery and resilience emerged. Neighbors pulling neighbors from rubble, volunteers distributing food and water, and first responders working around the clock to provide aid and restore a sense of normalcy. The road to recovery for Ridgecrest would be long and arduous. Rebuilding homes and businesses, repairing infrastructure, and addressing the emotional toll of the disaster would require time, resources, and unwavering determination. Yet in the face of immense challenges, the people of Ridgecrest demonstrated the strength and resilience of the human spirit. Section 3, The Science of Shaking. To truly grasp the power of the 2019 Ridgecrest earthquake, it's essential to understand the science behind these seismic events. Earthquakes are caused by the movement of Earth's tectonic plates, massive slabs of rock that make up the planet's outer layer. These plates are in constant motion, albeit incredibly slow, driven by the heat emanating from Earth's core. The boundaries between these plates are known as faults, and it's along these faults where most earthquakes occur. As the plates grind against each other, immense pressure builds up over time. When this pressure exceeds the strength of the rocks, it's released in a sudden, violent rupture, sending shockwaves through the earth. These shockwaves are what we feel as earthquakes. The energy released during an earthquake travels in the form of seismic waves, radiating outward from the rupture point like ripples on a pond. Understanding the nature of these waves, their propagation through the earth, and their impact on structures is crucial for developing safer building practices and mitigating the risks posed by earthquakes in seismically active regions like California. Section 1. The San Andreas Fault. A crack in the armor. Embedded within the very fabric of California lies a geological behemoth, a fracture so vast it dictates the state's fate, the San Andreas Fault. This isn't just some crack in the ground, it's the meeting point of two colossal tectonic plates, the Pacific Plate and the North American Plate. Imagine them as giant rafts on a slowly churning sea, except the sea is Earth's mantle. The Pacific Plate, restless and vast, grinds relentlessly northwestward against the more stationary North American Plate. This isn't a smooth sliding, friction is immense, locking the plates together for years, even centuries. Stress builds like a spring wound too tight. When that stress surpasses the rock's strength, boom! The fault slips, unleashing pent-up energy in a flash. The San Andreas is a strike-slip fault, meaning the motion is horizontal. This grinding motion has sculpted California's landscape over eons, creating valleys, mountains, and even influencing the path of rivers. Not all faults are created equal, and understanding the different types is key to grasping the varying ways earthquakes wreak havoc. The San Andreas, as we've discussed, is a strike-slip fault, where plates move horizontally. But there are other players in this geological ballet. Normal faults occur when rocks are pulled apart, causing one block to slide down relative to the other. Picture a cake sliced diagonally, the top half sliding down a bit. That's normal faulting. Reverse faults, on the other hand, are the opposite. Here, rocks are pushed together, forcing one block up and over the other. Imagine that cake slice again, but this time the top half is forced upwards. Each fault type produces a distinct earthquake motion. Knowing the fault type in a region helps scientists predict the potential ground motion and thus, the type of damage an earthquake might inflict. When an earthquake strikes, it unleashes a torrent of energy that ripples through the earth in the form of seismic waves. These waves are the messengers of destruction, carrying the earthquake's power far beyond its epicenter. Understanding their behavior is crucial to comprehending how earthquakes impact the built environment. The fastest of these seismic waves are primary waves, or P waves. These compressional waves travel through the Earth's interior, squeezing and expanding the rock as they pass. Think of a slinky being pushed and pulled. That's the motion of a P wave. While fast, P waves are generally less destructive than their counterparts. Next come secondary waves, or S waves. These transverse waves travel more slowly than P waves and shake the ground perpendicular to the direction they travel, like a wave moving through a rope. S waves are responsible for much of the damaging shaking we experience during an earthquake. Over the years, scientists have developed various scales to quantify an earthquake's strength. The Richter scale, once a household name, has been largely superseded by the more accurate moment magnitude scale. While both scales measure the energy released by an earthquake, the moment magnitude scale provides a more comprehensive assessment, particularly for larger events. The Richter scale, developed in the 1930s, relies on measuring the amplitude of seismic waves recorded on a seismograph. While useful for quick estimations, it has limitations, especially for large earthquakes. The moment magnitude scale, developed in the 1970s, takes into account the area of the fault rupture, the amount of slip, and the rigidity of the rocks involved. This makes it a more accurate measure of the total energy released by an earthquake, especially for larger events. The Ridgecrest earthquake, with its magnitude of 7.1 MW, serves as a stark reminder of the immense power hidden within the Earth. Understanding the science behind earthquakes, from the movement of tectonic plates to the propagation of seismic waves, is crucial for developing effective mitigation strategies and building a more resilient future in earthquake-prone regions like California. Hundreds of miles from Ridgecrest, the City of Angels felt the tremor in its bones. Los Angeles, far from the epicenter, felt the 7.1 jolt. Skyscrapers swayed and office workers huddled under desks. Swimming pools became miniature tsunamis, spilling over. Traffic slowed as drivers pulled over, feeling the rumble. Conversations revolved around the earthquake's intensity and comparisons to past tremors. For Angelenos, earthquakes are not a matter of if, but when. While buildings are often the most visible casualties of earthquakes, the damage inflicted on infrastructure often has far-reaching and long-lasting consequences. Roads, those arteries of modern life, buckled and cracked, disrupting transportation and hindering emergency response efforts. The Ridgecrest earthquake highlighted the vulnerability of California's intricate network of highways and surface streets, underscoring the need for seismic retrofits and resilient infrastructure design. Pipelines, carrying vital resources like water and gas, proved susceptible to the Earth's tremors. Cracks and leaks, even if seemingly minor, can lead to significant disruptions in essential services, impacting public health and safety. Power lines, too, felt the strain, with some areas experiencing outages due to damaged infrastructure. The loss of power not only disrupts daily life but also hinders communication networks and emergency response capabilities, amplifying the challenges of post-earthquake recovery. The earthquake served as a stark reminder that our modern world, for all its technological advancements, remains vulnerable to the raw power of nature. Investing in resilient infrastructure, from earthquake-resistant buildings to reinforced pipelines, is not merely a matter of cost, but an investment in public safety, economic stability, and the well-being of future generations. While the Ridgecrest earthquake resulted in minimal fatalities, the human cost extends far beyond physical injuries. The psychological toll, fear, and trauma can linger long after the ground stops shaking. Stories emerged of people grappling with emotional aftershocks, their lives altered. Communities came together, offering support and mental health services. The earthquake revealed the resilience of the human spirit and the desire to rebuild. California's seismic legacy is a history etched in fault lines. The 2019 Ridgecrest earthquake is part of California's tumultuous seismic history. Perched on the Pacific Plate, California bears scars of countless earthquakes. Earthquakes are woven into California's fabric. The 1906 San Francisco earthquake, magnitude 7.9, forever altered the city. A colossal quake ripped open the San Andreas Fault. The quake and firestorm left an indelible mark. California's seismic history extends beyond San Francisco. The 1933 Long Beach earthquake led to improved building codes. The 1989 Loma Prieta earthquake caused billions in damage. Each tremor teaches lessons in preparedness and resilience. Each earthquake, while tragic, teaches us to adapt and innovate for a resilient future. The Ridgecrest quake advanced building codes, earthquake-resistant design, and preparedness. Engineers developed structures to withstand quakes. Innovations like base isolation systems reduce stress. New materials withstand greater forces. Earthquake engineering evolves to protect lives. Understanding quakes informs planning and response. Ridgecrest data offers insights into faults and waves. This knowledge helps create safer environments. Predicting earthquakes remains one of science's most challenging frontiers. While we can't predict them precisely, early warning systems offer valuable seconds to take cover. These systems detect initial P waves, providing crucial time before the destructive S waves hit. Despite limitations, they represent a significant step forward in earthquake preparedness. Living in earthquake country demands vigilance. The ground beneath our feet can turn treacherous in an instant. Take proactive steps to ensure safety. Start with your home. Secure heavy objects to the wall. These can become lethal projectiles. Identify safe spaces to take cover. Assemble an emergency kit. Include water, food, first aid kit, tools to turn off utilities, and important documents. Store it in an accessible location. Check and replenish regularly. When an earthquake strikes, it can be disorienting. Remember, drop, cover, and hold on. Drop to your hands and knees. Take cover under a sturdy desk. Hold on until the shaking stops. If outdoors, move away from hazards. Find an open area and drop to the ground. If driving, pull over and stay inside. Stay prepared, not scared. The 2019 Ridgecrest earthquake, like a tremor echoing through time, reminded us of California's enduring dance with seismic forces. It left visible scars on the earth and in the memories of those who felt its power. Yet it showcased the resilience of the human spirit, the determination to rebuild and thrive. From Ridgecrest to Los Angeles, the earthquake left a trail of damage and disruption. Amidst the rubble, stories of courage and community emerged, shining through the darkness. The Ridgecrest earthquake reminds us of our planet's dynamic nature and our place in its grand cosmic dance. Earthquakes are a testament to our planet's vitality, shaping its continents and influencing life. We are inextricably linked to the forces that shape our world. Understanding our planet fosters awe and respect for its forces. We are temporary inhabitants, responsible for living in harmony with Earth's rhythms. The Ridgecrest earthquake is a call to action, to embrace our role as stewards of this planet.